Nothing like the old school stuff, baby. So here are my old ceiling fans, and I'm going to rebuild them. So I had a video on changing the one in here, assembling it, and another video of actually putting up. And it ran for 4 hours, and now it's got a bearing knock in it. Knock, 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 knock. If you can hear it, when the air conditioner is not running, that's what I hear. Knock, 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 knock. And it's not out of balance. Well, it sort of is. It's within tolerance of, what normal ceiling fan wobble should be. And nothing's hitting it. There's nothing slapping it. And I had it shut down and turned it slowly to see where it's coming from. It's coming from the top of the motor, so up on this end, and I can hear it and feel it in the bearing knocking. So not very good quality. And then as the story and the saga continues, the one that I put in my bedroom, that one was so badly out of balance, I had to put a quarter ounce weight on whatever blade to get the sort of balance out a little bit, so it's within reason, because otherwise the thing was like swinging. Poor quality of Hampton Bay fans. It's sad. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll put the mic up to the ceiling fan. You can hear it knock. Hear it knocking? Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Sad. It's sad. The junk that they make. So, my intentions are to take these apart. And I know there's been other videos on other channels of people taking ceiling fans apart and stuff like that. But I'm going to do the same thing because this is my channel and my video. But I'm not going to put, hopefully, not your normal everyday standard bearings back in it and then have it crap out in, 2005 to whatever it is now, 2022. So let's see how many years that is. $17 years of 24/7 operation. So 17 years. So if I'm lucky enough to get the type of bearings I want to get, I might get a lot of years, more than probably 17 years, because my goal is to put ceramic hybrids in it. So the ceramic hybrids, the ball bearings in them, are supposed to be harder than steel. So, it should last, double the amount of time. Maybe the lifetime of the windings in the motor until the motor craps out. And then I'll salvage the bearings and put them in another ceiling fan. So I never had one of these little suckers apart, so, I don't know what's involved taking one apart. And yeah, I know there's videos out there, but I refuse to watch them. So it's all firsthand. So I'll take as much of this garbage and baloney on these fans off. And I've already started taking it apart. And I started filming already, but I forgot to turn the mic on because I'm an idiot. So we got these little dongers, these little quick disconnects. So we'll take that crap off. Danger, do not remove cover, high voltage. It's only 120 volts. You only get a slight shock. So I do believe you have to take the take everything off to work on this thing. So that's exactly what we'll do. Is we'll just take everything apart and leave it laying around for weeks, and then I'll completely forget how to put it back together. But that's all right. I'm documenting it, so that's not a big deal. We'll get new chains because the chains are all nasty. So whatever makes this one in here knock, every once in a while the ball might turn a little bit, then it stops knocking. So anyway, we got that loosened up a little bit. At least now it sits flat. So some of these wires I can pull right through the hole. Of course, as time moves on, we might be doing some chopping. Chopping! So I'll take this outer cover off. Hopefully the outer cover is only held on by these screws. Oh, they're the long suckers. We'll get some assistance. Get some assistant to help. These are probably like 4 miles long. So, what do we have? Okay, that comes off. Nice and dirty. Nice and black. That's awesome. Got bugs in it. That's fantastic. Look how nice and black that is. We'll clean that up. We'll wash it. We'll make this fan look brand new. And then I'll work on its brother. So what the hell holds this thing on? Probably these screws on top. So, what do we got now? Got some dirt and grime. Ew. So, looks like this part might have to come off. Looks like it's on a jam nut. First, I'll have to get some tools. So let me get some tools and I'll be right back. And we're back. So, I don't know how well this is going to work. That was easy. I'll get this bottom dewy thing off. Bottom dewy. Of course, it don't fit, so off camera, I'll get this out. So I have successfully taken off the wire canopy here for the to hide all the switches and wires and this and that. So now it's time to do some chopping. So I'm just gonna start chopping wires because it's pretty easy, and we got these crimp-on wire terminals, so we're just gonna chop wires off. So it'll be easy enough to reassemble. So blue will go to blue, gray will go to gray, brown will go to brown, and the yellow wire went to white. So that's the wire pack. So we'll put that off to the side. We got these little bits. Now we'll get the jam nut off. Keep that together. Keep that together. That's that. So now we're just down to the hockey puck. The hockey puck. And I can see some numbers here. Do I got a bearing number? Do I have a bearing number visible? I think I do. So these are these are CMEC, and this is a 6202Z. 6202Z. So look up what size is a 6202Z bearing. .6202Z bearing is 15 by 35 by 11. Deep groove ball bearing. Okay. So now I will go to my favorite site where I get ball bearings for certain other things like helicopters and RC cars and RC trucks, and we'll see if it has a 15 by 35 by 11 size bearing, and that is Boca Bearings. Boca Bearings. Let's see. I got a choice here. Actually, I can bring you up a little bit. You probably can't see shit anyway. So, Boca Bearings. So I got your standard everyday stainless steel bearings. We don't want them because everybody else has done that on their channel or their videos. So I'm not going to do that here. We're going to go for the ceramic hybrids or full ceramics. We're going to see how much they cost. I'm saying, as of right now, I'm probably going to go ceramic hybrid. So, just for shits and giggles, how much are the standard bearings? Okay, filter your results. Enter will be 15. And then the outer diameter is 35. 15, 35 by 11. So anywhere from come on, baby. So let's see. We're talking anywhere from about $23 a bearing all the way up to about almost $51. So if you're a cheapskate, 23 bucks. So let's see how much ceramic hybrids are. So we go up almost double the price. So about almost $51 a bearing, and the cheapest are $36. But we want the Shieldon bearings. That means it's got the foil shield on the in between the races, because there's different ones. There's open ball, there's shielded, and then there's sealed. So there's like a rubber membrane or a Vityl or whatever it is. So we would definitely want the shielded so I can blast them with grease when I receive them. So, just for shits and giggles, how much are full ceramics? And if you don't know what full ceramics are, is that the inner, outer, and balls and the ball cage are all ceramic, 100%. So the ceramic materials commonly used for bearings are silicon nitride, zirconia oxide, alumina oxide, and silicon carbide. Wow, that's fancy. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Search by size. Inner diameter is 15. Outer diameter is 35. Wow. So the cheapest full ceramic is $122 a bearing. Of course, you need two. And it goes all the way up to $223.98, almost $224 a bearing. That's yeah. If you're nuts enough to buy that, even I'm not that nuts. I mean, I'm nuts enough to go for. I'm going to go for the ceramic hybrids, which is, the price of a brand new fan. So that's what I'm going to do, is order some ceramic hybrids, and that's what will be installed, and hopefully the new fan, the bearings are the same size, because I'm going to order 6. I hope the last 2 don't bite me in the ass. So let's see if I can split this apart. And if I can't, I might be making a trip to Harbor Freight in the coming days to buy possibly 3-jaw pullers to yank these hubs apart and get the bearings off. So let's take the screws out, and we'll get these screws out of the way. Do I got it? Yes, I do. Put them in. I'll put them in the shot glass. So that's for this stuff. So keep all that together somewhere. Now for the motor. Keep the grenade pen with that. So I would assume that these things are balanced. These 2 halves are balanced. They probably are because they got a mark on them. So we're going to put a better mark on it. So when I put this thing back together, that they go back together where they belong. I have to make sure that this stuff don't roll off the table because it'll definitely break my glass mats. Oh, baby. Okay, now I'll have to get a big screwdriver, so I'll be right back. It's all fine. Of course, one thing that might help me is if I heat this up, probably this end, to help aid getting the thing off the shaft or off the hub. Okay, we got some separation going on. We'll throw a little heat on it. See if it helps. You got a screwdriver. know what we can do? We can give it a couple of whacks. Be right back. Brass monkeys. Success. Look at all the shiny copper. Ooh. That thing is grinding in there. Wow. Now, fortunately I can't whack the end of this side. Maybe I can. Oh, cool. The inner coming out. That's cool. Ooh, the whole bearing come out. Nope, just the road. 6202Z. Awesome. Since I don't care about the bearings, the only one that's going to be kind of a pain to get off is this one. So that was easy. So I'll get my drift punch and I'll punch this out. I'll be right back. And I'm back. So I'm going to just put some rags on my lap. I'm going to get my big drift. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's out. Here's the bearing. Dry as a fart in the wind in the desert. Yeah, bearings are not supposed to spin that easy. This is not a fidget bearing. There is absolutely no grease left. So that was easy. Now, I wonder. That's going to be pressed in pretty good. Ooh, it's moving. Nice. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's the hard part. So that's easy enough to do. If you're mechanically inclined and you're not afraid to take things apart. My own version of taking apart a ceiling fan to put new bearings in. And it's just not going to be your standard everyday bearings, I am going to spend the $48 for ceramic hybrids. So, you know, instead of 17 years, let's say maybe these fans will last another, let's say, 30 years. As long as the windings don't go to hell. So like I said earlier in this video, the old stuff is better. And what I mean by old stuff, like 2005, instead of this modern day crap like the one I got running now that's got a bearing knock that I'll have to do the same procedure with. And then I have to do this fan's brother, and then clean everything up, put the new bearings in and reassemble it, and then I'm going to put them in storage. So when this fan's brother's bearings go bad, I'll be able to take that one down and do cleaning and maintenance and bearing replacement, and I can just take my brand new rebuilt ceramic hybrids and put them in service. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you learned something, how to take apart. Hope you learned something with me, how to take apart a ceiling fan and carefully, with a small light amount of beating, how to take the old bearings out. So this is probably just a standard size bearing. So you know, it's probably, I found them on Boca Bearings, so it must be available. And these are in sad shape. And that's that. You know, like I told a little story, I think during either the ceiling fan assembly or putting up the ceiling fan. I don't think, no, I didn't narrate the putting it up. It's going to be an over edited video where I talk over it and narrate it, because I didn't talk when I was putting it up. But I did mention in my fan assembly of you know, whatever I was talking about, which I forgot now. Oh, I remember. I did take these fans down and I oiled the bearings. I mean, I put a couple of squirts of red can and a couple of squirts of the blue can, and then I put some straight 20 weight in it, you know, because I had the fan pretty much stripped down to, you know, just the motor itself. I took all that cover plates off and stuff like that. And, you know, of course, these are shielded bearings. So you see that silver, you know, where you can see the engraving, where you can get the bearing number. That's a shield. So it's very easy for oil to seep down in. And that's what I did, because these bearings took it all. I mean, there's no oil residue on the cover plates. There's no oil residue on the rotor here. There's absolutely nothing from all the oil I dumped on these things, and I spent at least a day for each fan oiling the bearings and letting them soak and all that other crap. But it didn't last long, because I think within a couple of weeks after I did it, they were making noise again. And, you know, bearings are not supposed to spin this easy. These bearings are now fidget spinner bearings. Especially this one. So they're not supposed to spin that easy because bearings are meant to have grease in them. And that's what they mean by permanently lubed, is when they put the shields on, they pack them with a little bit of grease, and then you put the other shield on, and then, you know, eventually the grease turns into a paste, and then it's all impregnated as muck and goo, and then that gets pushed out of the way. And then as time comes, you know, the constant spinning and turning and direction changes, the bearing runs dry. And it's not like the old school uh, ceiling fans where they had an oil port where uh, most likely one side of the bearing was sealed and the other side was open. And that's like kind of like a similar setup with little nitro engines, where the one side of the bearing is sealed to hold back the oil, and the other side is open, so the oil can get into the bearing. So that's probably the same consensus of a old school ceiling fan with the oil ports, where the oil would drip down and then sit on top of the bearing until, you know, eventually the oil evaporated and turned to a lightweight grease, and then dried up completely and then pushed it out of the way. So the same thing with these. So all the dried grease is buried in these things, and, you know, the oil sort of you know, rehydrated some of the grease in there, and it lasted a little while, but it's just a matter of time. Bearings are not meant to be oiled unless it's specifically made to have oil in them, and bearings are specifically made to be oiled. But these guys, these are you know, a shielded bearing. They have a you know, whatever shot of grease, and that's the lifetime of the bearing. Is once the grease dries up and then the wear and tear of the bearing, then it's wore out. So in this case, 17 years. Well, actually, not really. I would say about maybe 10 years of continuous operation until the bearing starts making noises, and loud enough where you can hear it. You know, so that's all you would hear while the fan was running, is that bearing just making its noise. So when I get the new bearings in from Boca, when I order them, these are a little bit bigger than my bearing packer. So my bearing packer is it's a unique bearing packer for these shielded sealed bearings, where you plop the thing on, and since there is a little gap in the shield here, the grease does get in, and then eventually it pops out the other side. But these are a little bit bigger than what it's meant for, so I might have to do some I think the shield should hold back the bottom part, but I might have to put like a little washer on the inner race there, so my pointed plunger can push the grease up from the chamber up through the bearing, and put some good motor bearing grease in there, because that's what I use on my Vornado DC610 on its ball bearings, and them bearings will probably last the lifetime of the fan, or until the brushless circuitry inside the hub motor there, which I did show when I took it apart. I showed all the circuit boards in there. It's only one circuit board in the fan, but a unique fan, you know, because it's actually got ball bearings in them. And, you know, I put good motor bearing grease in them bearings, so them things don't use much grease once you have good grease in them. Because I think the second or third time, the time that I videotaped it, when I took the bearings out, put them in my little grease packer, and then pushed it. It was only a little bit of new white grease that come out, and it wasn't even dirty. because the first time I did this and I didn't record it, the nasty grease that they put in these things, it was brown, it was sticky, it was nasty. So I put good motor bearing grease in there, and that's what I use for all the RC hobby bearings, is all that nice grease, and the bearings last forever. I mean, the life of the bearing, you know, until you break it and smash it and stuff like that. But the bearings survive, and then you just take them out, put them in a new part, and that's it. So enough of me rambling on and talking bullshit about ceiling fans and ball bearings and stuff like that. So I'll be going online and ordering the equivalent of a 620Z bearing in a ceramic hybrid, and then once they come in, and we'll have another video on reassembly, and then I'll have another video of taking a brand new ceiling fan, and hopefully the bearings are the same size, and putting them in. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.